Imagine for a moment that you decided to take a holiday, but instead of Tenerife Islands, you book a ticket to an orbit to a black hole, taking photos, having a lovely time, and then you fly back to Earth. When you land, you step out of your ship to find that all of your friends are drawing their state pensions. Welcome to the Curiosity Well podcast, the show where we look at space and science's weirdest curiosities and try not to have an existential crisis. I'm your host, Laurent, and today we're talking about interstellar jetlag, or to use its proper scientific name, time dilation. You're standing in arrivals, profoundly confused, realizing that absolutely nowhere in the holiday brochure did they mention the spacetime continuum. Put simply, we're going to explore why time is the ultimate gaslighter and why everything you think you know about ticking clocks is completely wrong. So, we tend to think of time as a constant. A second is a second, an hour is an hour. Whether you're sitting in your living room or standing on the surface of Mars, it's a universal metronome ticking away in the background. But back in 1905, Albert Einstein came along and essentially ruined the metronome for everyone. He proposed a theory called special relativity. The core of it relies on one massive rule: the speed of light is constant. It is absolute speed limit of the universe, about 186,000 miles per second, or 300,000 kilometers per second. To understand why this messes with time, let's bring it back to Earth. Imagine you're sitting on the top deck of a red London bus. Let's say it's the number 9, trundling down Piccadilly at 20 miles per hour. If you stand up and throw a tennis ball towards the front of the bus at 10 miles per hour, to someone standing on the sidewalk watching you go by, that ball is traveling at 30 miles per hour. It's the speed of the bus plus the speed of your throw. Simple maths. But the light doesn't care about your bus. If the bus driver turns on the headlights, the light shooting out of them doesn't go to the speed of light plus 20 miles per hour. It just goes at the speed of light, period. It doesn't matter if the bus is parked, moving at 20 miles per hour, or strapped on a rocket doing 99% the speed of light. The light beam always travels exactly the same speed to every observer. And this is where the headaches begin. If speed is just distance divided by time, and the speed of light absolutely cannot change, then if you start moving really fast, something else has to bend to make the maths work. And that something is time. Einstein realized that space and time are physically woven together into a single fabric, called spacetime. He said that faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. If you get into a rocket ship and accelerate to near the speed of light, your internal clock, your heartbeat, your digestion, the actual ticking watch on your wrist, slows down relative to the people you left behind on Earth. You wouldn't notice it. To you, a second still feels like a second. You'd pour a cup of tea, drink it, and read a book at the perfectly normal pace. But when you park the ship back on Earth after what felt like 5 years to you, you'd step out and find that 50 years have passed to everyone else. You have effectively time traveled to the future just by going really fast. Now, you must be thinking, this is brilliant for sci-fi movies, but how does this affect me? Well, it affects you every single time you order a takeaway or an Uber. We actually have to correct for time dilation every day. The GPS satellites orbiting the Earth right now are moving at about 8,700 miles per hour. Because they are moving faster than we are down on the surface, their onboard atomic clock ticks slightly slower than our clocks on the ground. If the engineers at places like NASA or the European Space Agency didn't actively program Einstein's maths into those satellites to correct the tiny time difference, the GPS system would fail. So within a single day, Google Maps would be off by 7 miles. Your Uber driver would be 3 towns over. So the next time your food delivery arrives exactly on time, you can thank Albert Einstein and the bending of spacetime. Which brings us to our segment, The Void Mail, where I answer the questions you're too embarrassed to ask a real physicist. Today's question: if moving faster slows down time, if I sprint on a treadmill every day, will I live longer? The answer is technically yes, because you aren't actually going anywhere. Only parts of you that are moving fast get the benefit. Your heart is pumping and your legs are flying around 8 miles per hour, while your head is staying relatively still. This means that after a lifetime of treadmill sprinting, Your legs will be a few quadrillionths of a second younger than your brain. You'll be the proud owner of the most youthful calves in the nursing home, relative to the rest of your body anyway. So yes, you will technically outlive a couch potato, but you'll also be exhausted, sweaty, and you spent your whole life on a treadmill. So I'll let you decide if it's worth the trade-off. That's all for this week's dive into the universe. If you enjoyed getting Interstellar Jetlag with me today, make sure to follow on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. It generally helps the show satisfy the great and powerful algorithms. I'll be back next time to explore other curiosities. Until then, remember, time is relative, so if you're even running late, just tell them you were moving too fast through spacetime. Cheers.